I want to thank our media sponsor from Photonics Media, and together with SPIE, it's a pleasure to welcome you to the Prism Awards for Photonics Innovation. So that's really one of the big reasons we do this, to get people together and celebrate and recognize innovation and recognize new product development. So let's get to the awards part of the evening. Last but certainly not least, in industrial lasers, John Murray, who's the president and CEO of Concept Laser, Inc., headquartered in Grapevine, Texas, the American subsidiary of Concept Laser GmbH. John joined the company in 2003 as director responsible for developing and expanding Concept Laser's additive materials platforms for 3D printing across the Americas. He was named president and CEO of the US subsidiary in May of 2014. Prior to joining Concept Laser, he was vice president for SolidForm, a supplier for the aerospace industry. He also held positions as global account manager for aerospace and defense at Dassault Systems SolidWorks Corporation, VP of sales for Idea Lab, working on their desktop factory, and senior director global business development for motorsports and aerospace with 3D Systems. He has over 20 years experience in additive manufacturing, and including plastics, metals in the motorsports, aerospace, and medical products industries, where rapid prototyping and rapid manufacturing are enabled by 3D CAD and 3D printing. Please welcome, presenting in the category of industrial lasers, John Murray.
What an honor it is to be here tonight. This is my first event at SPIE, but it certainly won't be my last. When I've seen the innovation, the technology, and the talent in the showroom and here tonight, I'm absolutely amazed. It's been a tremendous experience. It feels very natural to be presenting about industrial lasers because it reminds me of our CEO and our founder of Concept Laser, Frank Herzog. And the company's based in a small city in Germany called Lichtenfels. And during the 1990s, Frank was obsessed with the idea of 3D printing metal parts that were fully dense and had full metallurgical properties. So he had a CO2 laser. He started his work, his experimentation through the 90s, but the parts would always crack or they'd be porous, which would make them not very useful. And he struggled and struggled. And he kept testing. Meanwhile, his wife, Kirsten, who worked in the Hoffman family tooling business, had purchased a solid-state laser. So I think one night at dinner, Frank and Kirsten were dining, and Frank asked Kirsten, "Do you love me, darling?" And of course, Kirsten said, "Of course I do. You're my husband. We have a beautiful family. Of course I do." Frank said, "Good. Can I borrow your laser?" So she had this solid-state laser that converted it to continuous wave, and he started his testing and more testing. And this went on. And finally, there was an event where there was a critical build, and this was going to run all night. And Frank, once again, had to test his love with Kirsten. He said, "Sorry, darling, I'd love to stay here tonight, but this night, I'm sleeping with the machine." So he got 2 chairs out, and he set them up in front of the machine, spread out, kept one eye open, and sure enough, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, he hears a clunk, and the recoder had crashed. It had caused a problem. So he goes in and he fixes that manually, gets it going, whoosh, the whole build goes beautifully. So in the morning, he gets up and he has these 2 samples, these 2 specimens, and he has them quickly analyzed and tested. And it gives me goosebumps to this day about this story when he realizes, we did it. And he was funded by the Hoffman family, and his encouragement and his determination and his drive paid off. And finally, the family said, "Okay, it's prime time, let's go." And in 2000, he started Concept Laser. Now we have hundreds of machines all over the world. We have medical companies using it, improving people's lives. We have it in automotive, printing automobile engine blocks, making more efficient cars, rocket motors that are lighter, more efficient, more powerful. And I get to that thought of Frank hanging in there, being tough, and it all came down to one night. And he always said, had I failed that night, had I not slept with a machine, the Hoffman family might have said, "You know, Frank, it's great. It was a great effort. You did a lot of work, but it's just not prime time." But it was prime time, and he succeeded. And as I look at these 3 finalists tonight, I know they've had those sleepless nights, that gut-wrenching feeling you have when you've got to solve a problem and you're not exactly sure how you're going to do it. So with that, let's take a look at these last 3 contestants for the final prize, shall we?
The Diamond J3 5-micron carbon dioxide laser is a compact, sealed CO2 laser that simplifies integration and minimizes time to market for laser system builders.
The Light Fab 3D printer is an extremely fast and precise tabletop machine for direct laser writing of transparent materials.
1.5 presents the Katana 06 HP laser, a versatile high-powered picosecond laser system for OEM, industrial, and R&D applications.
And the winner of the industrial lasers category, Light Fab. You're the only man that came up alone.
That was
Congratulations.
what was I about to say, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. To be honest, I have only a rough idea what made us, that we were able to come up here. And yeah, as the speaker already said, we are the only one that come up here alone. And yeah, to be honest, I think this is the night of maybe the small companies and the underdogs maybe, and because we also are only a company of 4 persons, and the other 3 persons right now at the moment are at home back in Germany and preparing the export of a machine to Japan right now at the moment. They have a pre-acceptance test, so yeah, absolutely thanks to them, and this is, yeah, we earn this thing all together, and yeah, I had no idea that we could make this prize against such very, yeah, excellent competitors and very big companies, and yeah, I think, yeah, dedicate this to the home of the underdog, to the night of the underdogs. Thank you.
All the ideas, all the creativity, all the innovation that's here, it is really spectacular. Now, ideas are one thing, and they disappear after a while. What we see here tonight is the turning of ideas into reality, the turning ideas into product, which I'm sure many of the winners, all of the contestants, realize is a long, sometimes lonely and difficult path. We've heard many examples of that from presenters here. So I'd really like to congratulate on behalf of SPIE all the people who submitted to this, the whole 120. I hope to see their products make them rich. And I hope that the creativity continues in this industry. We are expanding the frontiers of photonics. This is indeed the century of photonics.
Thank you for coming, and on behalf of Photonics Media and SPIE, I hope your next products meet with great commercial success.